Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Claire from Claire from Online, and I'm here today to talk about all the ways you can use your Hobonichi cousin layouts for this next year. So I have been in a Hobonichi cousin for 2 years now, and it has completely changed the journaling and planning game for me. It's changed my life, and for whatever silly reason, I am using an A6 this year, but let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is not quite going to be an intro to the Hobonichi cousin. I'm just going to kind of talk as if you have an elementary knowledge for the different kinds of layouts, but I wanted to show you all that I've done in each layout so you can get some ideas. So in my yearly overview, I have historically listed friends' birthdays, wedding dates, baby due dates, and other important events. I've also tracked my steps. I've tracked my Peloton miles walked, if I slept well or how much I've slept. I also have listed, as you can see down in the lower left corner, a playlist of the month, so like my favorite books. And then here I'm giving another example of something I might do in the future, which is like listing 3 goals of the month and then possibly like words that I've learned. I do have to let the public know that I know the word ubiquitous. It's not that I haven't had like quote success with this yearly overview page. It's just like nothing that I've done has really necessarily stuck. But that's not always a bad thing because you can kind of just switch it up when you feel like you need to track something else. That's the thing. There really are no rules, truly. So you can track workouts, weight, words you've learned, favorite songs of the month, best memories of the month. And then if you feel like you need to pivot and make it just a little bit more functional and track your mood, your sleep, whether or not you watered the plants or took vitamins or certain medication, you can do that as well. You are not locked in. And I know that I know this deep down, and I know a lot of people also know this, but they don't necessarily put it into practice. And again, it might sound even silly for me to just like talk about it, but in case you need a reminder, and from the looks of my Instagram DMs, it seems like people often do. You do not need to follow the rules that even you set out for yourself at the beginning of the year. Okay, let's move on. I love you guys. Here's another example of how I've used my year at a glance monthly overview pages. I've tracked bill due dates and no spend days, which I think I've had a little creative license on because there were definitely some days where like my car insurance was debited from my account. More on my getting out of debt, low spend, low buy year later. I know I'll share about it more on here naturally. In the meantime, I am beginning to chat about it on TikTok if that's something you're interested in, so go check that out. Now I get to talk about my monthly calendar pages, which I am so excited to share with you. I've done a number of things with these pages over the years. I had a little top 5 spread, which I think was really creative and fun. I just love making lists. In this past year's Hobonichi, I have been loving using the monthly calendar pages as a sort of collage. I go through magazines, I go through my phone, my tweets, text messages, anything like that. Not so much on this page, but on other pages, I have pictures and Polaroids from friends. Again, like color is allowed, washi tape is allowed, anything is allowed. I was cracking up at a TikTok, I think, about a Himalayas fan cam. I loved this quote: "If you're bitter and jealous, you will not become successful." I've never seen an exception to that rule from Jeff Garlin. I love that. My friend Evan made a Spyro meme. That Just Be a Rock quote is from Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is my favorite movie of the year. I drank some grape juice with mold in it, and I thought it would be funny to write about. So like, that's just kind of my process. These pages really are just like a snapshot in time, and I've had so much fun with it. I did turn 30 this month, so I had a little bit of a hard time, but I love these spreads and I love being creative in this way. So last year I had more of a simplistic, minimalist approach, and I basically just wrote down either a funny quote from the day, a memory, honestly, sometimes a tweet, something I ate that was delicious. Pretty minimal, but I love doing that as well, and I could see myself doing that in the future. Okay, now we are moving into our weeklies. This is a very good snapshot of what a lot of my weeklies looked like when I used them. If you watched my 2021 Hobonichi flip through, you know that it took me a while to hit my stride when it comes to the weeklies, but once I did, this is what they looked like. I used Plan to Create, Julie's video. I believe I was in COVID jail. My boyfriend had COVID. I had not caught it yet. Obviously, later in the week, I had it, but when I was planning, of course, I made big plans for my exercise and productivity, but, I had a pretty normal, beginning of the week. I don't know. Whomst among us cannot relate. So, as you can see, it's personal lists. It's things to read. It's things to watch. It's things to do at home. Things to eat. Errands to run. Things to buy. Projects to do. Stuff for, oh my gosh, it's a little bit of everything, but it's just a quick little overview. So again, if this is not your first time ever seeing this notebook, you understand that there are dailies. And so of course, when we get into those pages, you will see how and where I went more in depth on some of these items. And I've mentioned this in previous videos, but in years past, my work planner and my personal planner were one and the same, and I just need the separation now. So going forward, I just need that compartmentalization, because it was like my personal stuff would seep into more of a productive to-do list, and then when I was trying to make a productive to-do list, I would sacrifice certain items in favor of aesthetics, and it just wasn't working out, but I mean, this is a pretty nice spread though, isn't it? Anyway, here's another classic Claire from Online weekly spread, kind of ignoring the hour marks and just, it's a little bit more willy-nilly, but I like it that way. Here's another example of what my weeklies often looked like. I did some color time blocking. I did a quick work to do at the start of the week and then a little plan for the next. And this was color coded, or color coordinated rather, with my weeklies for that week. Again, some memories, some lyrics, some washi. My friend Ashley is a writer, and she had a feature in Milwaukee Magazine this fall, so I wanted to commemorate that in some way. I still need to paste some pictures in from my friend's kid's first birthday, as well as a music festival I went to in my town that weekend, and I still will. There's still time. Thanks for the reminder, video. Here's a great example of some back journaling I did. I left this page blank. It was just during the summer. I wasn't sitting down as often at my desk to do pre-planning, but I was at a coffee shop in Chicago while I was visiting, and I decided to just do this fun brain dump. What we have to do, to buy, playlists. I'm tired of pretending that TikTok isn't fun as heck. Yeah, I went wild on TikTok in July, and it was great, and people were mostly nice. She's a 10 but a 6 in Zara, a 14 at H&M. Why can't she find clothes? She is crying. That is a straight up tweet, but it's funny and I wanted to remember it, so there it is. A note, astrology is a study on how space is beating your ass from that far away. Again, silly, sassy, that's my brand. You can also use your weeklies if you're not planning on pre-planning. You can use them for different collections. There's my Tombow brush pen collection. I have a random list, end of year thoughts and goals. I want to go on more walks. Here's a migration spread that I did. Shout out to Lindsay Scribbles. She has at least 1 or 2 videos talking about a migration, which is basically where you look at your past journal, see what works, and then okay, these are the spreads and this is the information I need to have in my next journal. I also pasted my washi tape swatches. This was my whole collection as of about a year ago. And this is proof that it really does take time to build up your collection. So if you see collections of anything that planner or journal nerds have, just know it's very often years in the making. So don't feel like you have to run out and get everything right now, especially coming from me. I'm really trying to be on a low spend year. I'm trying to ball on a budget. I'm trying to be mindful. Don't buy a whole bunch of stuff. It's fine. Share with friends. I'm really excited to share these pages with you. These are ideas I've had for my dailies in the Hobonichi Cousin, as well as a planning routine that I adopted from Patty Does over on Instagram, and this is just kind of a snapshot on what it was kind of a mixture. It was what I've typically done in the past, as well as how I would like to structure future journals and planners. I've had a few requests over the years to go in depth into every single one of these pages, and I mean, that's an idea. And I may, but more than anything, I think you should use this as a springboard into what you need to plan. Here's a little flip through. We're getting into the bulk of what the Hobonichi cousin is, which are daily pages. And so I do a lot of journaling. Sometimes I use 1 page per day. Other times I do a little bit of collaging and then write, 4 pages worth of items in one day. Or on one spread, I guess. I had a list of things that you just saw. I have a list of collections like the Armchair Expert podcast episodes I'd like to listen to. Here is a little bit more of a long form situation. I love using my fountain pens in here. I'm using a TWSBI Eco Bold. As a former bullet journaler, I love that the dates are already there. We have a little timeline if you wanted to plan out your day hour by hour, but it's not bold enough that it takes up the whole page. So if you wanted to ignore it, that's totally cool too. Again, here are just more examples of the many ways that I have used my dailies. Some days I use more washi and stickers, color, quotes, just random little thoughts here and there, quick to-do lists, jot notes down. Other times I use it more like a diary, and both ways are great. Both ways are good. It really just depends on what my needs are that day, that week. And I know that if something's not quite working for me, I can switch it up tomorrow, And so that flexibility and that freedom is really nice. Here's an example of a more scrapbooky type page where I didn't do quite as much writing. My favorite magazines for collaging may surprise you. They are Chicago Mag and Milwaukee Magazine. Whoever is heading the graphic design on those publications is doing an amazing job. So I know I've said there are so many ways that you can use the daily. The ones that I like looking back on the most are these, the ones that are a little bit more long form and just have a little spot for a picture or a photo. We're nearing the end of this video, and I just wanted to say thank you all so much for watching. I really hope this gave you some good ideas on the many ways that you can use the spreads in the Hobonichi cousin. I did want to give you a reminder that I share static feed posts on my Instagram at clairefromonline. If pausing a YouTube video to get more from a spread isn't doing it for you, head on over to my Instagram and you probably will be able to find what you're looking for. Thank you all again so much for watching. I can't wait to show you what all I have in store for 2023. I hope you have a great week and happy journaling. Bye everyone.